Hey everybody, it is Tuesday and it's 2 o'clock, and that means it's time for Top 5 Tuesday. So hang on just a second here. I'm monitoring right here from my computer, but I want to thank you so much for joining me. It is really exciting to be back with Top 5 Tuesday. And I just want to go back to the history. So some of you are been here for a long time as fans and viewers, and some people are newer here. So I want to take you back to 10 years ago when I started Crate Insider. It was actually before the website even launched. I had created a Facebook page in December of 2013. And then as I was developing the content for the website, I started kind of putting it out on Facebook, because when I started the Facebook page, well, then people just started joining. They started liking the page. So I was like, oh my goodness, I should probably put something out there. And then once we got started with getting the website launched, I really was looking for what is the kind of content that I could put out like on a weekly basis. And this is long before I started doing video. This is back in 2014. So I started doing something I called Top 5 Tuesday. And this is what I would do is on Tuesday morning at like 9 o'clock in the morning, I would say, hey, in the number 5 spot this week for Top 5 Tuesday is this item. And then an hour later, it would be number 4. And so this would be every hour. I'd have all of those posts scheduled for those 5 posts a day on that day back in 2014. And then I started recording it as a video. And then in 2018, I started doing a live show like we are here today. So if you do have any comments, feel free to drop them in. I've got my iPad right here, so I can pop your comments on the screen. So if you're here, feel free to drop in a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. That's always fun. And then moving forward, I know that something I definitely want to reincorporate back into Top 5 Tuesday is some giveaways. And so the best way for us to be able to do a giveaway is probably from our email list. So if you're not on our email list, then join. You can just go to our website, and I'm sure there's a spot in there. I'm not totally prepared for how you can join my email list, but I will be prepared next week. And then we'll start doing some giveaways based on the email list next week. We'll start doing that. So anyway, with that being said, of course, I'm Kate Dillon from Crate Insider, and hey, welcome to Top 5 Tuesday, and let's talk about our top 5 products of the week. So in the number 5 spot this week is one of my favorite products. One of the biggest questions we hear all the time is, what kind of spark plugs do you want to use in a crate engine? So for your 602s and your 604s, a really great spark plug option is the NGK R5724-8s. So we don't mess around with trying to sell you like one spark plug at a time. So we do sell the whole set, a set of 8. And these happen to run $35.12. So if I happen to have the prices here, I'll let you know. Otherwise, everything's just on the website. I don't always know what the prices are off the top of my head here. So our NGK spark plugs are in the number 5 spot this week. And what's great about these spark plugs is that they work incredibly well no matter if you've got a 602 or a 604. And it doesn't really matter which fuel you use. So if you're using a race gas or a pump gas 110 mix, or you're using E85, or you're using an oxygenated fuel, any of those work really, really well with the NGK spark plugs. And I can't remember the gap off the top of my head, but we do actually publish that right in our product listing for the NGKs. You can look right on that, and it'll tell you what gap you want to use, depending on whether you have an HEI distributor or a billet distributor. So NGK spark plugs. All right, next up in the number 4 spot right here is are these beautiful or what? These polished beadlock wheels. And you can see it's all polished in the inside. Love my Kaiser wheels. I think we're really running low on those. So Wade, if you're watching, please send more wheels. we need help. We need more wheels here. But our polished beadlock wheels, this is a 3-piece wheel. If you're not familiar with the Kaisers, this is an aluminum wheel. It's also super light. So I think it just doesn't weigh very much. And it being a 3-piece wheel, if you were to run into getting a dent in one of these, you can actually cut this apart. There's this billet center right here that comes out, and then you can replace one of the bells. So whether you want to replace the outer bell or the inner bell, I see some of those are behind me here. So there's an outer bell there. We have an inner bell here. If you need to replace the beadlock rings, I mean, we do try to carry all of the different components that go with these wheels down to the nuts and bolts that you want to be able to put them together with. And then for silicone, you can just buy that at any of your auto parts stores. So anyway, polished beadlock wheels in the number 4 spot. I'm not even sure how many of those we have left, but we had plenty when I did this before, so we'll see what happens. All right, next up in the number 3 spot is one of our Daytona One products. And Daytona One, if there is one thing they make a lot of amazing products. Buck is really an amazing guy, but really love his gear oils. And this happens to be the 7590. We also carry the 3060. What's really great about these gear oils is that you can use these in your quick change rear ends. It really cuts down on the heat. And the reason why is because so many of your other gear oils are really heavy, and then they stick to themselves. And when they stick to themselves like a gummy glue, then what happens, the more that they stick to themselves, and then all that friction that happens in your rear end with those gears rubbing together, what does friction do? Friction creates heat, and then heat is, anytime we can keep things cooler, we're gonna be able to release more horsepower. And so that's what's nice is with the 7590 or with the 3060 gear oils, they really cut down on the heat. And so they make it a lot easier for you to change your gears, and you're getting better performance. So 7590 gear oil from Daytona One, and I don't know how much it is, but it's on the website. So there we go. All right, next up in the number 2 spot. Oh, I'm actually surprised. This is probably one of the reasons I stopped doing Top 5 Tuesday so much, is that our top product almost all the time is our matched valve springs. I mean, we do so many valve springs here, but these are our matched 602 valve springs. All of the valve springs that we sell here, by the way, are all GM valve springs, all of them. So there are no cheater springs at all in this entire building. All of our springs are GM springs. So these are our 602 springs. We get them on our spring raider. We've got a Longacre spring raider. Love it. It's digital, really gives us accurate results. And when we smash these, then we're able to put together sets that are well matched with one another. We get rid of any of the bad springs, and we're able to sell you a really good quality product. So our matched valve springs, our matched 602 valve springs, are in the number 2 spot this week, and these run $139.49 is what these are at. So with that, let me see if we've got any questions here. I'm just gonna scroll. So if you happen to be catching us live, I see Gary's here. So that's probably Gary. Maybe Susie's with him too. So hello, Gary. Thank you for joining us. I don't see anyone else here. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. I don't attack anybody. I just say hi. So then our next up in our top spot here, we have picked up these little gear cases from All-Star and just absolutely love them. They come in black and they come in white. They run $7.99. So they're really a great addition to being able to carry your gears right here. And what I would say, also, our gears, I think, should have been, it's just we have all of the different gears. If I wanted to just say like one product category, we've been selling a lot of gears. This shelf was pretty full before, but it is looking a little naked. I put in an order for some gears. Hopefully we'll have some of those, coming up real soon. So that is basically all I have for this week. And I don't see any other comments. Feel free to share this video, drop in any comments. Let me know what you would like to see on Top 5 Tuesday. I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one.